Okay, so we got some Croc, like I said. We got a bunch of leftover Croc videos. Hopefully, we can get a lot more done this week. We're back to playing catch up. Like, we had a bunch of videos ahead of time, and excuses. But y'all know that app was tripping for a second. So now it's good, and we're gonna just try to have a lot of content in our reservoir. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not even too sure which Croc build this is, because even though I'm not going to say that these builds were performing bad, like we always make sure that we have a better win loss ratio before even showing these decks. We always try to make sure, like, obviously we have a let's say 75% win rate or higher, stuff like that, right? We have to win more than we lose, obviously. So that way, if anybody, one, you guys can see the promise in the deck, like, oh, this deck looks like it can actually do good. But two, even if y'all wanted to play it as is, it wouldn't be no fraudulency. It wouldn't be like, this is just terrible, bunch of cherry picked videos. And I say all that because, getting back to the Croc build, I feel like we have a better build, and I wasn't too happy with everything in general. Like, as in general, it's like, no, this doesn't feel adequate enough. So yeah, we so just if anybody wants this particular build, we kind of have to we would have to figure out how to recreate it if we don't have it saved, because we started doing a lot of like edits and changes and stuff like that. Because yeah, we was experimenting. We just had a decent overall idea of the game of One Piece and things you can do with purple, things you can do with blue, blah blah blah. But yeah, now it's like, okay, my mind frame for the leader is in a different place. I think I know what this leader can benefit off of. It's so creepy too. You know what it really was? The issue with blue purple croc? It is the lack of things that are worthwhile. That's all it is. See, like Miss Wednesday is just a blocker, to be honest. You know, it's just a blocker. Just a lack of things that are worthwhile. It's hard to figure out what's worth putting in the deck in general, in general. You could sit there, you could try your best in regards to what do you call it? You draw a bunch of cards. It's figuring out that Dawn aspect ratio. Whether you want to hit your curve, try to draw, keep Dawn up for your draw to play your event, to so on and so forth. So it was a hard formula to figure out for this leader in general. But even if you figured something out, you also had to tackle like the issue. I'm talking about like if you figured out drawing, you also have to tackle the issue of, is what you're playing worth it? Like, how worth it is the stuff that you in the deck? Because if you focus on a bunch of events to help you draw, well, then now you got to figure out, okay, what's worth summoning. So that's like probably the hardest of balances with this leader. It's already difficult to try to figure out how to respectfully work something in properly when it comes to your curve, when it comes to the drawing and all that stuff. Attach one, keep two up. That's 3 Dawn off the books. Boom, 3 Dawn. Now you got to figure that out real quick. So as you can see here, take advantage of 0 Dawn events, because it's almost as if you're playing a figuratively pseudo whatever, a 1 drop 3K or something, right? 1 card 3K counter. So that's like you have to figure out how to get things on the board after you just like put away 3 Dawn. Maybe you use a 1 Dawn event, then it's 2. You guys get it, so on and so forth. Now this play was wild strong. We ended up drawing a card, bottom decking an opponent's card, being able to give access to Dawn to our 7 drop and our leader. And in this matchup, that 7 drop Croc is like crazy in this matchup. But yeah. That was the overall complication. So it's like if you figured out the answer for one, you created a problem in another aspect. And that, I think that's truly the complications behind this leader. You figure out how to solve one problem, quote unquote, you create another problem. But that's one thing I did feel like I was like that 7-drop Croc should have had a better tournament experience. And he still remains to be a valuable card. He still remains to be a valuable card in this meta, in theory, because banish. And if you play blue events, see, it's just stuff like that. That's what makes people say he's not worth it. I mean, granted, it could happen to anybody, but that's what makes people say he's not worth it. Because people are tired of him just getting KO'd. And it's like, now you don't got anything. It just felt too easy to KO the character. That's what it was. That we really need to start getting some leaders. Not leaders, what the heck did I say? Some heavier drops. Oh, well, the benefit right now, which is interesting. Yeah, we can counter out of that, but the benefit right now is we have a board to swing. Okay, we got 4 attacks. They got 2 cards in hand, 1 life. No blockers. So it was definitely a good play. I think we should have just took that last life because it doesn't seem like we're going to get another turn after this anyway. Okay. It's just scary because it's like, yeah, it's like we just need at least about 4 Dawn just to get this win, and looks like we got it. Wait, oh, we saving 1? Oh, because we could sneak 1 more attack. Okay, I respect it. 8's a good number. We didn't need 8, but 8 is definitely a good number. That all we was gonna get is another blocker. That's crazy. All right, going up against another Enel. 2 different Enels, by the way. I low-key like this hand. We got 2 searchers. We got early game, and then we got late game, so we don't have to even search for it. See, that last game, it was a good thing we had enough pressure on the board to really get the W. But man, yeah, 8's a good number. Now that I think about it, it's like either you have to have 2 2Ks or a 2K and 2 1Ks. That's still a lot of cards. Interesting. Like certain end game scenarios is what I'm saying, because obviously 7K is like a real efficient number, right? It's like massively efficient. But yeah, it's like, you know how you could swing for 9 because you want to guarantee, oh, if they had the 2 2Ks, and well, 8 is like a 7 in that late game scenario. Just poking early game. And since it's fun, because since Enel players love adding cards to their hand, putting drops is just always a go. Okay, we take this, right? So that way our Zoro can be played. And, oh, yeah, that's the annoying thing. Now Kikinojo is live, but hey, we're a blue deck, so we do have bottom deck cards. We're at 6. I guess attach a Dawn, play Bon Clay. Or we can miss Sunday? No? We probably could have just added the Dawn to make the swing actually do damage. But hey, here's a 7K. Maybe a fish for pudding is the right thing, right? Like, They might have countered out of the 5K, but they won't counter out of the 7K maybe, question mark. Not too sure. Okay, they take. They don't want us ramping anymore. I mean, they could have attacked it, but hey, it was a trigger, right? So, duh, we'd rather play it now. Okay, good. What's our hand size? Looking too heavy, to be honest. So we're not really going to be able to get a draw unless they swing for a certain number and then we counter out. Oh, Dad, how old is this video? Now it's time to make a decision. I mean, we do have our late game, so it's not the worst thing to get rid of our searchers. I mean, our late game is in our hand, so yeah, so you can actually get rid of the searchers. All right. This. I don't think this is bad at all because we have the board removal. So we can actually play like Miss Sunday. Wait, can we? That's 9. Am I on? What was that? What, 6? A second ago. Then ball and clay 7. So wait, are we at 9? Okay, so that'll be a 9 down play to play the 2. I don't know. We'll just see what the player does. Oh, that's right. It's also their turn. Then they end, and then we draw. Okay. Nine. That's a bit of a tough decision. Okay, so we're going for pressure. I'm sure Enel doesn't want to lose hand. Yeah, there you go. You take any triggers, no triggers. Ooh, okay. We're gonna take life. We're gonna play defense. I know. Okay, if we can 2K, we're gonna 2K obviously, and we're most likely gonna take a life. He needs to answer this crocodile. He needs to. He needs to answer this crocodile. That's what's smart about swinging for 5 first is whether we choose to commit to not get max value out of our 2K or not. Because if we take the 5, then he puts us in a more binding position. Well, he ended up swinging blank anyway, so whatever. Then he puts us in a position where he's like, oh, put some Don. Now, do you want to lose even more? So it could be annoying. I feel like that thought was incomplete. It's like, add Don, do you want to lose more? Okay, you can't. So we end up taking 2 life instead of taking 1 life and chucking 1 card. It could be a take a 2 life scenario. The heat blockered up. Ooh. That relevancy is so wonderful. Goodness, did y'all see that? Ain't that crazy? Interesting. I get it. I understand. Because it would be a bit of a compromising position if that's a character and then he just, does shenanigans, discard a card, do. It's like, okay, let's just stop it here. Put the ball in his court. If he could do whatever he wants right now, it doesn't matter. And then we just respond with a bottom deck play and a swing for banish. We have a 12K, which is going to be very complicated for him to get off the board. And we have a blocker that we can summon that can get back our event card. So this is actually a very, very convincing position we're in. Man, I can't wait. Now that they're doing these starter deck things, I really wish they prioritize like real bottom of the barrel leaders with this starter deck stuff. And I get it. It's money at the end of the day. Like, you got to be able to make this money. So it looks like we have to take that one. I would take it because that's a blocker that can get back an event. Unless you don't think the events are worth it. If you feel like, oh, the events that we currently have available are just not worth it, then cool. But if you're swinging with Croc, you're gonna need a way to protect Croc. I would just go to 1 life. That's what I would do. I understand this is a tough decision, but I would go to 1 life. Board pressure is interesting, but I feel like you need the counter power so you can at least like keep your Croc alive if you swing with him. Because there's no way they're gonna not counterattack your Croc. There's no way. Okay, and we got it. Okay, cool. I don't know how much overall Don this can be. 7, if my math is right. Attach. Oh, right. He makes it free. If they can't remove him, then there's a spot as free. Okay, that's such an efficient play right now. So we have oh my god, we just end up getting counter power off of this play. So okay, we're just gonna Don, because I was gonna say what can happen right now is you still leave a Don up in the event that Crocodile gets removed. Okay, we want to take the life. That's going straight to trash. Oh my god, look at that. Look what it was. Look what it was. You have to counter out of this. Now the thing is, you shouldn't attack. Oh no, he took it. Oh my god. You don't have a 2K? They took it. Because it's gonna definitely see Kaido swing is too difficult. Like you can't convince me. Yeah, you take that too. Yeah, you can't convince me you'll counter out of a Kaido swing or not a 6K swing. Nah. So that's it. They don't got their hand is not what it needs to be. Their hand is not what it needs to be for this match. But yeah, low key, if you got a blue deck, you might as well try to figure out how to put 7-drop Croc. Oh my god. This is scary. Oh right. He makes it 0. He just used 3 Don. We just gotta hope that Crocodile does not get removed. We just got more counter power in our hand. They ate up 3 Don. Yes, they got a blocker, but they just ate up 3 of their Don. So now it's like thinking about how they're gonna plan on swinging. Yeah, I get it. This is crunch time. You already know things is gonna get. That's an easy 2K counter. I think that's okay, right? Because you can't bait with a 9K swing, no blocker. I don't think you can bait that, right? Because it's like, oh, I have enough counter power. If they swing for game, I can counter out. Like that's mad high. So we have enough for a 9K swing. So we can actually take that and encourage them to 9K swing with their leader, eating up all their Don and giving them no play. Because it don't matter. Like unless there's a card for 4 Don that could take Croc off the board, we got plenty of counter power in our hand. So we can actually take that and it would encourage them to Don up entirely and go for game. I guess the danger is if they play another blocker, but that's just 2 blockers. We'll have enough Don to put on our leader, on our Croc, and then yeah, we got 3 hefty attacks potentially. Another desert spotter. And in fact, we could actually just use the trigger. The trigger allows you to draw 2, trash 1. We don't need that Miss Sunday. So I would use a trigger. Trigger. There you go. Look at that pudding. Look at the pudding. Look at it. We got a pudding. Okay. Because in my mind, I was like, we might get an event to bottom deck the blocker, guaranteeing the game, right? I'm like, oh, we might top deck a 3,000 worlds, bottom deck the blocker. Then we got 6 Dawn. No block. Let's just counter out. Oh wow, that would have been more. Okay, it doesn't matter what we do here. And that's it. Drop the pudding, cripple their hand. What are we doing? What are we thinking about? Drop the pudding, cripple their hand. Okay. And oh, that's funny. Even if they had an event, it might have just gotten shuffled. Okay, forcing the block. I get it. 11k swing. It's like you're probably gonna have to block this. Just get that blocker off the board. There you go. 2 out the hand. Oh, that was 3 out the hand. That was even better. And GG. Feel free to give us a sub.